At the start of the week, I made a video taking a look at the highest scoring 11 in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. The most frequently and most liked comment was a request for me to do a similar video for assists, and since you kindly crowned this channel as the People's Channel many moons ago, naturally, that is exactly what I'm going to do. Just so we're all clear, Europe's top 5 leagues, as per UEFA's coefficients, are La Liga, the Premier League, the Bundesliga, Serie A, and Liga. Players can only feature in this 11 in the position they have played most frequently this season. Inclusions are based primarily on the number of league assists, and any ties are settled first by assists in all competitions, and then assists per minute if required. Before I start, I recently had a virtual meeting with my YouTube partner manager, who told me that 77.5% of you who watch my videos still don't subscribe to the channel, which apparently is really rubbish. What's more, over 65% of you who are unsubscribed watch more than one video a week, so really, you might as well be subscribed. The very nice woman from YouTube told me that all I have to do is tell you all to subscribe at the start of a video and that you'll do it. So that is what I'm doing. Cheers. Right, here is the highest assisting 11 in Europe's top 5 leagues this season. Goalkeeper, Marc-Andre ter Stegen. There are a few goalkeepers around the continent with an assist to their name this season, including Alisson and Aaron Ramsdale here in the Premier League, but there's only one player from Europe's top 5 leagues with 2 assists. That man is Barcelona number 1 Marc-Andre ter Stegen, who we can now say with some confidence is not just one of the world's best goalkeepers, but also one of the most creative. The first of ter Stegen's 2 assists this season came against Getafe, when he was sharp off his line to intercept a long ball before putting Luis Suarez through on goal for a smart lob over David Soraya's head. The second assist came just 8 games later against Mallorca, when his quickly taken goal kick put Antoine Griezmann through on goal for the first goal of the game as Barca won 5-2. His tally of 2 assists mean that ter Stegen has set up twice as many goals as both Eden Hazard and James Rodriguez this season. Right back, Trent Alexander-Arnold. The most creative fullback in world football last season, Trent Alexander-Arnold once again sits at the top of that particular tree this season, with his lead at the top of the defensive assist charts far larger this season than last. The boyhood Liverpool fan has become one of Jurgen Klopp's most pivotal players over the last 3 seasons, thanks primarily to his sensational deliveries into the box. Alexander-Arnold is one of the finest crossover ball in world football, and that is reflected in the number of assists he's made over the last couple of years. Having set a record in terms of assists made by a defender during the Premier League era with 12 last season, Alexander-Arnold had already matched that tally this season with a quarter of the season still to be played. In addition to his 12 Premier League assists from 29 appearances, Alexander-Arnold has also made 1 assist in the Champions League, taking his overall tally up to 13 for those of you who really struggle with maths. Centre-back, Raphael Toloi. Other than goalkeepers, there is no position less likely to record a high number of assists than centre-backs. Whilst there are a number of centre-backs who score a few goals, often from set pieces, very few record a large number of assists. No centre-back in Europe's top 5 leagues has recorded more assists than Atalanta centre-back Raphael Toloi in Serie A this season. A ball-playing centre-back who represented Brazil at under-20 level, Toloi now has an Italian passport and he has expressed a willingness to represent Italy at international level. The 29-year-old's 5 assists this season have come from just 20 Serie A starts, all at centre-back, although he's yet to make his first assist in the Champions League despite Atalanta's impressive run in the competition. Centre-back, Almamy Touré. There are a whole heap of centre-backs who have made 3 league assists this season, including the likes of Lewis Dunk and Mason Holgate here in the Premier League. It remains a tie, albeit between just 2 players, when you look at assists in all competitions, namely Stefan de Vrij at Inter Milan and Almamy Touré at Eintracht Frankfurt, both of whom have made 4 assists in all competitions. Touré takes the shirt by virtue of having played far fewer games and minutes this season, but he is a tad fortuitous since he has played roughly half his games at right back and half at centre back. He has, nonetheless, played more games at centre-back than right-back, and therefore is eligible for a place at centre-back in this 11. Quick, talented and versatile, Touré joined Eintracht from Monaco in January 2019, becoming an important player in Adi Hütter's side. It's somewhat interesting to note that an Eintracht centre-back made my top scoring 11 earlier this week, Martin Hinteregger, meaning the club from Frankfurt are the only team with defenders to feature in both 11s. Left-back, Andy Robertson. It's an all Liverpool affair in the fullback positions, and that won't come as an enormous surprise to most people. It's a much closer run thing at left back than at right back, with Andy Robertson having almost half the number of assists of Trent Alexander-Arnold this season. Nevertheless, the Scotland captain's 7 league assists from 28 outings is enough to seal a place in this 11, ahead of Luca Digne from across the Mersey, among others. Robertson is yet to record a Champions League assist this season, putting his overall tally at 7 in all competitions. That's still a very impressive haul from the former Hull City and Dundee United fullback, who made 11 assists in the Premier League last season to boot. Central midfield. Luis Alberto. No central midfielder in Europe's top 5 leagues has made more assists than Luis Alberto this season, whose remarkable tally of 12 league assists and 13 in all competitions puts him among the most creative players in the European game this season. That is no great surprise, given that the Lazio star is among the finest playmakers and passers of the ball in Serie A right now. Formerly of Sevilla and Liverpool, Alberto has been in sensational form this season, and it's hard to believe that he has only ever won 1 cap for Spain back in 2017. Central midfield. David Silva. Whilst Luis Alberto's place in this 11 was among the most emphatic of anyone's, it was a much tighter call with regards to his partner in central midfield. There are a whole host of players with 6 league assists in Europe's top 5 leagues this season, including João Moutinho, who has 9 assists in all competitions, which is more than David Silva. However, Silva has 7 Premier League assists, and given league assists are the deciding factor, he takes up a spot in the middle of the park. Silva has long been one of the most creative players, not just in the English, but in the European game, and nothing has changed now that he is into his mid-30s. The Spaniard ranks 7th in terms of assists during the Premier League era, above the likes of David Beckham, Thierry Henry, and Teddy Sheringham. This season, Silva ranks joint 4th in the Premier League assist charts, with 7 assists from just 15 starts in the league. Right wing. Thomas Muller. If you were to guess who had the most assists outside of the Premier League this season, I suspect most people would hazard a guess at Lionel Messi. The Barcelona captain does have 16 assists in all competitions this season, but only 12 in La Liga. Thomas Muller, meanwhile, has a whopping 16 Bundesliga assists this season and 17 in all competitions. Muller is head and shoulders above anyone else in terms of all-time Bundesliga assists, since records began, yet this season is a new personal best even for him, and with plenty of football still to be played. The 30-year-old has averaged either a goal or an assist every 70 minutes in the Bundesliga this season, which is pretty remarkable. He has actually played an equal amount of football out wide as he has through the middle this season, but on the grounds that he wouldn't have made the 11 in attacking midfield, he comes in on the right. Attacking midfield. Kevin De Bruyne. There was a time when Mesut Ozil was referred to as the assist king, but given the fact that he hasn't hit double figures for league assists since the 2015-16 season, I think it's about time that he handed his crown over to Kevin De Bruyne. De Bruyne has the same number of league assists as Thomas Muller this season, 16, but he has the most of any player in Europe's top 5 leagues in all competitions with 18, and that's still with a quarter of the season to be played. De Bruyne's vision and weight of pass may be the best in the world right now, and if or when the Premier League returns, he may become the first man to exceed Thierry Henry's record for assists during the Premier League era. This isn't the first time De Bruyne has recorded so many assists. He also made 16 in the 2017-18 campaign, 18 in the 2016-17 season, and a whopping 20 during his only season at Wolfsburg. A reminder that those are only league assists. De Bruyne made almost 30 in all competitions during his last year in Germany. Left wing. Serge Gnabry. One thing this 11 suggests is that teams in Europe's top 5 leagues seem to focus a lot of their attacking play down the right, since there are a whole host of right backs and right wingers with more assists than the left back and left winger who make this 11. Serge Gnabry ranks 6th in the Bundesliga assist charts this season, some distance behind Jadon Sancho, but he has more assists than anyone else who has played primarily on the left flank this season. The former West Bromwich Albion loanee was Bayern Munich's player of the season last term, having scored 10 goals and made 7 assists. With a good chunk of this season still to come, Gnabry has already smashed both of those records, with 17 goals and 10 assists to his name in all competitions. 9 of Gnabry's assists have come in the Bundesliga, and that's enough to assure him of a place in this 11. Centre forward. Marcus Thuram. If I were to hazard a guess at which centre forward had the most assists in Europe's top 5 leagues before making this video, I, like most of you I suspect, would have gone for Roberto Firmino. In all competitions, where Firmino has 13, we all would have been correct, but only 7 of Firmino's assists have actually come in the Premier League. That means he is beaten to a starting berth in this 11 by another Bundesliga star, meaning the German top flight occupies 3 of our front 4 positions. Marcus Thuram is the least well-known forward in this 11 and possibly the least well-known player, but he is having an excellent season at Borussia Mönchengladbach. You are very likely to have heard of Thuram's father Lilian Thuram, who was a World Cup winner with France, and despite being born in Italy, Marcus represented France at 5 different youth levels. Now aged 22, he joined Gladbach last summer, and he has scored 6 goals and made 8 assists from 25 appearances in his debut campaign in the Bundesliga. 6 foot 4 inches tall and a fantastic athlete, Thuram has clever movement, and as he has displayed this season, plenty of creativity. Thuram's time has been distributed fairly evenly between centre forward and the left flank, but he has played more games through the middle, and as such, is eligible at centre forward. If we're honest, Firmino has been slightly robbed, but I have to make a criteria for all that works rather than picking on a position by position basis. Sorry, Bobby. So that is it for the starting 11 of players with the most assists in Europe's top 5 leagues in each position this season. In terms of the players who missed out, Borussia Dortmund right-back Achraf Hakimi has 10 Bundesliga assists this season and is unfortunate to be up against Trent Alexander-Arnold. Meanwhile, honourable mentions also go to the likes of Christopher Trimmel, Luca Digne, João Moutinho, Pablo Fornals, Jordan Henderson, Eva Banega, Santi Cazorla, Lionel Messi, Jadon Sancho, Lorenzo Pellegrini, Riyad Mahrez, Emiliano Buendia, Christopher Nkunku, Thorgan Hazard, Angel Di Maria, Alejandro Gomez, Ciro Immobile, Roberto Firmino, and many more, all of whom came close but just missed out. Thank you all for watching today's video, give us a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel, otherwise my YouTube partner manager will think I didn't ask you and she'll be very cross with me.